All right, so we got another great week of new comics coming out this week. Let's talk about all the books that are on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I tell you which books are on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list that I'll be making a game day decision on. This week, lots of books coming out, lots of books I'm excited for. Before I tell you what they are, I do want to give a quick shout out. So you guys are always asking me where I pre-order my comic books, and the answer is my local comic shop. But some of you don't have access to a local comic shop. It's too far of a drive. There's literally not one anywhere near you. So for those of you who are looking to pre-order comic books online, whether it's single issues or collected editions, you can do that at thingsfromanotherworld.com. Now, you can use a link in the description down below. If you pre-order your books before the final order cutoff deadline, so start watching my final order cutoff series, that playlist I'll link up in the YouTube card. But pre-order your books before FOC, you can get discounts up to 30% off for new single issues. That's honestly a better deal than most local comic shops will give you. And you have the convenience of ordering them from your home. So check them out. Links in the description down below. And don't say I never gave you nothing. Now, let's talk about the book that I am most excited about this week, and that is Green Arrow, issue number 1. Now, Green Arrow, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Isaacs. I have been waiting for a new Green Arrow book for quite some time. I love Green Arrow from the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. Haven't really read a ton of him in comics, but he shows up like he's in Deceased. He was in Dark Crisis. I always enjoy him when he does show up, but I haven't gone back and read like a bunch of classic Green Arrow stories. And literally, since I got into comics, there has never been a Green Arrow book on shelves. Until now. Now, Josh Williamson has said that this is a Green Arrow book for Green Arrow fans, and it's not going to be as accessible as his new Superman title has been. But hey, I'm up for a challenge. So hopefully Green Arrow is at least, good enough to follow as a new #1 title. And, from there, we'll see how it goes. But Green Arrow issue 1's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, since we're talking about DC Comics, let's go ahead down the rest of my DC Comics pull list, starting with Action Comics issue 1054. Now, Action Comics, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Rafa Sandoval, has been an amazing title. Like, it's probably top 2 comic series for me right now. The DC has honestly really crowded the top 5. So it's hard to even put a ranking on it. But Action Comics by Philip Kennedy Johnson has been great. And it was great even back during the Warworld saga. But now that Superman is back in Metropolis, now that he's fighting villains that we're a little bit more familiar with, and it's not just Mongol all the time, it's a really compelling title. And he's even added a dynamic that is similar to the Superman and John Kent relationship that we lost when John Kent got aged up. There's just so much to love about this title, and I can't really tell you more about it without spoiling it. So I'm going to stop right there. But Action Comics issue 1054 is out this week with a cover price of $4.99. It's Superman versus Metallo. I'm grabbing it, and I'm grabbing cover A. Next up from DC Comics, and the last book on the DC list is Detective Comics, issue 1071. Now, I did a whole review, sort of recap of, well, it wasn't really a full recap, but it was a review of all of Ram V's Detective Comics, starting with issue 1062 and leading up to 1070. 1071 is out this week, and listen, if you want to know why I'm recommending this series, go back and check out that video. For those of you who are caught up, you know that Edward Orgum, or Arzin, or whatever his name is, we're learning more and more about his past. We got a pretty big revelation in the last couple of issues, and apparently there's more to the story we haven't been told yet. And to find out what that is, you got to grab issue 1071. It's out tomorrow with a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's going to be it for the DC books on the pull list. If I stick to this list, those books are going to cost me $14 this week. Now let's move over to the House of Ideas over at Marvel Comics, where I can't lie. We've got a chopping block contender, and that is Daredevil, issue number 10. Now, listen, Daredevil has been great. It's been a really solid series. I do feel like the pacing's a little bit slow, but now that, I was kind of engrossed in the title, waiting for the Daredevil versus Punisher fight, and that has happened. And now the title, it feels like it's building toward an inevitable conclusion. And we know for a fact that Chip Zdarsky's run is coming to an end at some point this year. But now that that's happened, it just feels like the arc is descending. And because I didn't start my Daredevil with, the 2018 Daredevil #1, I feel like I'm missing some of the magic that everyone else is loving. And that's why I kind of feel like dropping the title. But it's so good week to week or month to month that I'm still all right, whatever, I'll keep buying it. But I know I'm missing something by not having that first basically half of the story and jumping in just at Devil's Reign. So I don't know, your mileage may vary. It's probably one of the best books on shelves. It's just I'm not getting all I can out of it. So that's probably going to be on the chopping block. I'm going to grab issue 10 because I pre-ordered it, and that's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next book on the pull list is a series conclusion. This is Monica Rambeau Photon, issue number 5. This is written by Eve Ewing. And I want to say, who's on the art? Let's find out. I never want to lie about who's writing and drawing books. So, okay, the art on this one is Luca Maresca, and I don't think he was doing the art on the last issue. So anyway, this has been a series about Monica Rambeau, and it's a quick 5-issue series, and it's her basically, having a reckoning. Monica Rambeau's kind of been tossed around the Marvel Universe for a little bit. Hasn't really felt like her own hero necessarily. This is my first time reading Monica Rambeau. And what I will say is I enjoy the supporting cast. I enjoy the voice of Monica. And she's been given several opportunities to sort of level up in this book. She's not OP or anything, but she's been reminded of her importance and her significance a lot in this series. And I like that, just build up the Black woman. That's cool with me. In the last issue, she kind of hinted that she might be a mutant. And that's an interesting development if that's true. But either way, Monica Rambeau Photon has been a good read. It's out this week, issue 5. The series conclusion is out with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the Marvel Comics pull list this week is finally ending. Sins of Sinister Dominion, #1. I told you guys, I started Sins of Sinister with all the optimism, with all the hype. That prelude issue in Immortal X-Men #10, one of the best Charles Xavier moments I've ever read. And it might not have even been Charles Xavier. That was really cool. But I don't know, man. The event starts off strong in the whole year 1 or year 10 or whatever. And then we got to year 100 and year 1000. I got more and more disinterested. And now the end is upon us. The conclusion is here, and I can't even lie. It's a welcome conclusion. Sins of Sinister Dominion, #1, is finally over. Cover price on this is $5.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the Marvel books on the pull list. Sticking to the list, those also will cost me $14 this week. For those of you keeping track at home, we're at $28 so far. Before we get over to the indies. Now let's talk about the indie books on my pull list, starting with, from Mark Millar, The Ambassadors, issue number 3. The Ambassadors, a really interesting series, basically about this sort of Willy Wonka style competition for people to be gifted superpowers by this scientist who just, wanted to create them. And so basically in each issue, we are being introduced to a new hero or new heroes from a different region of the world. This time we've got a mother and son team from Paris, or who at least are operating in Paris. And the art is by Travis Charest. Carré. I don't know. I just say it as many ways as I can so that one of them is correct. If you know how to say Charest, let me know. Just comment, let me know. But the art looks really good, and I'm enjoying the series so far. So The Ambassadors #3, actually pretty high on the reading pile. Cover price on this, $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book is kind of a maybe list contender. I'm not exactly sure I really want to buy in, but this is from Kyle Higgins. It is Deep Cuts, issue number 1. It's about a jazz musician, or at least a wannabe jazz musician, who kind of runs toe-to-toe with his heroes and ends up on a journey through jazz history. I can't tell if it's supposed to be like real life jazz history or fictional jazz history, but that trumpeter on the cover absolutely looks like Chet Hanks. Chet Hanks, not Chet Hanks. Chet Baker. Chet Hanks is a reggae artist. I'm joking. But he looks like Chet Baker, and that is interesting to me, and I'm wondering if it's like actual real life history that we're going to be seeing in this book. So if not, oh well. But that's got me interested enough to try it out with a cover price of $5.99. And that's the other reason I'm like, I don't know. But if I grab it, I'm grabbing cover A. It's in my running total though. Now let's move on to The Scorched, issue number 7. The Scorched, written by Todd McFarlane, art by Brett Booth. I think someone else may have taken over the writing by now. Oh wait, no, The Scorched is not written by Todd McFarlane. It's not drawn by Brett Booth. That's the team on Gunslinger. I'm not reading The Scorched, so I don't know who's writing and drawing it. I'm literally buying it because it's got this Mark Brooks cover that connects with all the other Spawn's Universe titles this month. My bad. I forgot. But the cover is great. That's The Scorched. It's got a cover price of $2.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, the next 2 books on the pull list both start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. First up is issue 139. We're like waist deep in the Armageddon game. Like Tyrese is running down the beach trying to meet up with his son. Megan Good is looking on lovingly from the corner at the Armageddon game event. And I can't lie, I don't know what's in it. I stopped reading it like 3 issues in, and I kept buying it because I'm obsessive like that. So TMNT, issue 139. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And going on down the list, next up, and the last book on my pull list this week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Armageddon Game, issue number 7. Issue 8 is the last issue of the Armageddon Game, and I can't even lie. By the time I get around to reading it, all of these books will be available to read for free on Comixology Unlimited, because pretty much all of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in there right now. And I didn't need to buy this physically at all. I just thought it'd be a cool reason to jump back in. Tom Waltz returning to the book. And even that wasn't enough to get me to put it on the top of my reading pile with all this Superman and Action Comics and Detective Comics and all the great books coming from the big 2. So I should have dropped it. I didn't drop it. I'm not going to drop it until this event's over, but it's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. So those are the indies on my list. If I stick to that list, those are going to cost me about $22, which brings my grand total, even with the Deep Cuts number 1, to $50 this week. Now, I've been told you guys, I've been trying to cut things out. I probably should cut out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That would save me $8. Just those 2 books would save me $8. And then Daredevil would save me another $4. And, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that list. But I'm probably going to buy all the books I said I was going to buy. So, hey, what are you excited about this week? Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you struggle with like letting go of titles? Are you a completist as well? I feel like we should start like a completist support group. And speaking of support groups, you should join us in the Comics Are Dope community. Over on Facebook, we're the Comics Are Dope community, and the link is in the description down below. Over on Discord, they decided to call us the Dope Fiends. I didn't choose the name, but the Fiends decided it in a vote. So you can join us. We can talk about, our obsessive habits. We can talk about, new books, recent pickups. We even talk about food and cooking and stuff inside of the Discord. So join us on whichever platform tickles your fancy the most. And I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Until then, stay awesome and make sure you're reading something dope today. Peace.